And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Welcome to Tuesday. We start this day at 56 this morning. We'll get to a high a little bit later on, warmer into the 70s, about 74. So not so bad, but a confusing forecast. When I tell you it's going to be a 30% chance of rain, and then, oh, by the way, it's partly sunny. So what's the skinny on all this? Severe weather will lie to the south of Meridian, and then between 11 and 12, there's a chance of a shower. Nothing big, but then becoming partly sunny by late afternoon, hitting that high of 74. So got to be ready for what's in the forecast. Let's take a quick look this morning at radars, what we've got showing here. A lot of fog over here at Andalusia, Alabama. Look at that. Right in that area there north of Mobile, a little bit to the southeast of Mobile as well. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued in the state of Mississippi, headed toward the Macomb area. If you've got to be in South Mississippi, Liberty, Mississippi, you've heard Jerry Clower talk about it. That's where that weather is. Just got a new one there, Tylertown, right in that area there. And that's going to last for about 45 minutes here is what we're looking at. So severe thunderstorm warnings happening to the south. We do hope that you keep this in mind if you've got to go that direction today. So we'll check back on that here in just a little bit as we watch the weather for you as this morning begins. Hope you're feeling good. Odie will be in with me in a moment. We're going to talk about everything that has occurred over the last 48 hours. There's tons of cleanup. There's a lot of folks going, where is my EMEPA fellows, my Mississippi Power fellows? They're working hard behind the scenes. A lot of time everybody doesn't see it, but I'm telling you, they're working hard. From the tree crews to the Comcast guys, everybody working together to get all this stuff back together. We'll discuss all of that coming up at 7 o'clock. Don't miss out on it. And plus, we'll tell you about a shooting that has happened on the way. Very serious one there. Let's go out to Collinsville. Let's straighten all this out and get on the right path. Let's get a good message there coming to you this morning.
It's always interesting when we tell our kids, or husbands if you ask my wife, to clean something, particularly a room. When we give these instructions, it seems that the definition of what we had in mind and what they had in mind perhaps are two totally different things. My wife and I asked our sons to clean their room the other day, and when they said they were done, mind you, they're 4 and 2, we walked back to evaluate. What we saw was decently clean on the surface, but when we saw toys thrown under the bed and stuffed animals under the cover, we knew they had only done enough to try to get by instead of putting things where they belong. So it was in Jesus' day with the Pharisees. They thought of themselves very highly and relied on all the good they did to try to earn God's favor. We see it when Jesus teaches during the Sermon on the Mount. The Pharisee looked haughtily to heaven, thanking God that he was not like the rest of the people, dirty sinners. But we know that from that story, God rejected such pompous prayers. Jesus had a lot to say to the Pharisees, and in Matthew 23, 25 through 26, Jesus compares them to a dirty cup. The outside looks pretty good, but inside it's still a dirty mess. Have you ever come upon a drink, maybe like an old milkshake that's been sitting out for a while? It stinks and it looks disgusting. Though the Pharisees had cleaned up their appearance, it's what their heart looked like that Jesus was concerned about. He told them, hey, clean the inside, start a relationship with God, living in grace, and then the outside would take care of itself. Are you trying to pretty yourself up for God? Do you believe that you need to be good enough? Rest in the fact that Jesus came so that you may be transformed from the inside out. And when you do, the outside will be changed because of what God has done on the inside. Remember, change begins in and inside of you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Let me see here what was going on there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Does anybody think that JJ looks just a little bit like Mr. Edwards from Little House on the Prairie? I'm just asking for a friend. We'll discuss that this morning. I hope you're doing fine. You've got a smile on as we start looking around with what's going on around the United States. As we look this morning, let's see. One of the worst things, and we'll talk a little bit more about this also, is the thing that went on in Nashville yesterday, the school children that were killed. A transgender walked into a school, a female, shot the principal, was taken out, children killed. For what reason, we don't know. We'll mention that this morning, talk about that a little bit further there. Disney, America kind of got sick of it, is the way they were telling us and what they were pushing down our throats. And, well, as their shares have dropped, they begin their plunges. Their shares drop 31%. They start layoffs now because, well, it's hurt the bottom line. America is speaking. They're not listening. They've got a new CEO. We'll see where this goes. Are they going to turn this around and continue this push to make you believe something that, well, maybe you don't? We'll see what becomes of it. We're hearing from Georgia this morning, and depending upon where you read your news story, one will tell you that they're being held as a hero while another runs them down. What is it? Homeowner in his house gets broken into. He takes the suspect out. And again, depending upon where you are and what you read, did he do the right thing? In my opinion, I think he did. While other news agencies sometimes run down people who protect themselves. He did. Now, Sheila. Are you saying Sheila just said I had no sound? I'm showing Linda Jane. Is there? Am I getting out? Is there an issue that I don't know about? Test 2, 3. Let's see what happens here. Lamar is there. I've only got one saying that there wasn't sound. So if there's something going on, yeah, we're getting sound over here. So just making sure. Okay. Reboot your phone. Yeah, Becky says she hears me fine. Just wanted to make sure because things sneak up. Thank y'all so much. All right, let's see here what else is happening across the nation this morning. 75. This is huge. So this leaves 25% as we look at Donald Trump. What's happening? They're doing their darndest to get him arrested. 75% of Americans say they don't care. Whatever happens with that, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change the way they vote. Well, we'll see, won't we? 75% says it doesn't matter, but they are doing their darndest to make something an issue out of that. The state of New York, and this is one of those things, and I've mentioned it before, don't you hate it when an innocent man goes to jail? Well, it happened. He was accused of raping someone. He didn't do it. The state of New York will pay him $5.5 million, and he's released. How sad it is that his life is gone. 16 years behind bars for a crime that he didn't commit. How did it happen? We don't know. Most likely somebody wanted somebody to pay for a crime, and well, what was the night the lights went out in Georgia? I remember that. Supper's waiting. I got to get home. Could have a little bit to do with that. Let's see. Alabama. We're going to talk about a donkey this morning, or a little horse. Tuscaloosa has made the national headlines this morning. Believe it or not, yeah, they were trying to catch a horse. He's been mug-shotted the whole 9 yards. We'll tell you all about that beginning at 7. Come back and join us, won't you? All right, coming up next, we're going to get into everything. We'll give you your forecast and all the details with everything next.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Bernadette, how are you today? Lamar Hembry is up. Miss Barbara, how are you? Glad to see you up. Linda Jane has made her way out to visit family. I hope you have a great sound. And Miss Mary, how are you? Joyce Godwin's up. So many of you, and we appreciate you each and every day joining us. Let's talk about weather now. Let's get into what's going to be happening. Did we mention severe weather in the forecast? That's next. We'll check that.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we get this day started in 1910, it was a warm day, 89. We're not going to get anywhere near that today. Back in 1894, we set a record of 29 degrees, and a cold day it was. They can keep that. I don't want any of that. Partly sunny today, as I said, a very confusing forecast as we'll have rain chances early and by late afternoon sunshine should get into the forecast. There's 74 in Meridian as we go north to Philadelphia, about 72. By the time you make it through Noxapater and make it right on past Winston County and you go through Louisville and make it up to Mississippi State, around 69. To the south, 74 as well. Out to our east, we find that Alabama will remain about the same, 74. Also there in Demopolis as you make your way over to Livingston. As we look at this weather that is today, now this is today to the south of us, from Laurel to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Alabama included in this. It's a level 1 with severe thunderstorms. As we looked at radar just a moment ago, it's showing we are having thunderstorm warnings being popped off there. And this will run until 11 o'clock today. And again, the rain chances in Meridian will fall between 11 and 12 is what we're being told by the National Weather Service. Now, here's our next concern. And again, we're 2 to 3 days away from this. And if you remember last week, we moved from one mild forecast to, well, it's just to get really bad. Right now, it's a level 2 is what the National Weather Service is telling us, and having the worst of the weather in the Mississippi Delta, where they don't need that at all. We'll watch this closely, see if this changes. Meridian, Clark County, Jasper, Newton, all of these areas included in that. We'll keep you on that. And they have not put a timeline, a definite one. They're saying Friday into Friday night. So that could come into, say, 3 o'clock onward. But we'll watch this and let you know what becomes of this. As we look at the forecast, still warm, 74. Not going to change a whole lot. As we look at our 7-day forecast, let's pull that back up, brought to you by Wilson Saw. 74 today, 30% chance of showers. By Wednesday, hump day, we'll get rid of the rain and reach only a high of 68. It will be the coolest day for quite some time. By Thursday, we're back to 76. Friday rolls in with a roaring 84 degrees. It'll be nice. By Saturday, 40% chance of showers on a few things that are going on. We'll work on that for the loose caboose there. 79 on Sunday. And then back to work on Monday with a 30% chance of showers, a high of 82. As we go further into April, let's see what's happening here. By the 4th, we've got a high of 88, 90 degrees. Are y'all looking at this? 90 degrees on April the 5th. That's summertime. And we're not going to dip below 75 even if we get on down to Tuesday the 11th there, on into April. Some warm days ahead of us. It definitely right around the corner. All right, let's see what Chet has in store for us for fishing today. He lets us know that major fishing time runs through about 8 o'clock this morning. From now to 8, you'll have another chance right there at dark 30, 6:30 until 8:30. I hadn't looked at my watch. What time's it getting dark nowadays, Odie? Is it 7:30? About 7 or so? So you can fish till dark and get you at least 30 minutes in there. So y'all check that out. To Corey, how are you? Louisville, Mississippi is where she's calling home today. Good to see you there. Earth's Bounty is Saturday, Arlene 2 says. Hope y'all can make it out for that. Always good to go out and support those farmers. All right, we're coming back in roughly 15 minutes. We'll be live with the morning show. Won't you join us? Always fun. You never know what's going to happen. Kicking off at 7 o'clock this morning. Join us. We'll be right back in a few.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: